Hello, I'm Bethany from Bethany Wellness. Join me for this Healthier Happy Hour yoga class. Hello, friends. Thank you for joining me today for this Healthier Happy Hour yoga class. So how do you unwind from a day of stress or a week of stress? Do you usually tend to come home and want to reach for a beverage, such as an alcoholic beverage or another substance? Or do you have other, perhaps more beneficial or healthier ways to unwind? That's what this class encourages you today, encourages you to do, is to unwind and de-stress in a healthier way. So last year in 2019, there were 88,000 alcohol-related deaths. So I think that's really sad when you think about alcohol-related deaths. Probably the majority of those could have been reduced or even stopped from just changing our behavior, changing our choices. So we are going to use a block today. If you want to grab a block or a book, and let's just begin laying down on our mat, unwinding from your day. You can have legs stretched out, or you can have your knees bent with your feet flat on the ground. Begin to take some deep breaths in through your nose and out through your nose. Settle into this space. Settle into the mat as you notice your body making contact with the ground. Allow your breath to draw you into this present moment. When you connect with your breath, it draws you into this space, into this moment. It also helps activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which brings in calm to your mind, to your body, to your spirit. And think about your stress melting away as you exhale, letting go of things you cannot control. We are all given this life to live to the fullest. So think about for you, how would you like to live? Would you like to live in ways that nurture your best self, that bring out your best self? And reducing those habits or sometimes even addictions that don't nurture your best self. And sometimes that requires us to seek help. Sometimes it requires us to admit and be aware of our patterns or our behaviors. Many of us, myself included, have been impacted by those around us that have addictions to substances, and that's a very real thing. So if you are in that space, know that there is resources, there is help out there. It takes being brave and being courageous to seek out help or resources if you need it. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. Reach your arms overhead. Take an overall stretch. Full breath here. So inhale through your nose, feel the ribs expand. Exhale out your mouth. 2 more. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. 1 more. Let it go. Walk your feet onto the mat, bending your knees. Hug your knees in towards your torso. Wrap your hands around your legs or behind your legs. Point your toes, flex your toes, wake up your feet. I've had the blessing today to practice outside, and I want to just mention how much different I feel when I can be in nature, observing nature, observing leaves on the trees, observing the branches swaying in the wind and the breeze. So for you, how often are you able to absorb yourself into nature and spend time outside, maybe just doing nothing, maybe just observing and noticing nature, or maybe going for a walk, unplugged from devices, just clearing your head. Time spent outdoors around trees and greenery and being in nature does help reduce depression, stress, anxiety, and worry, and helps you feel more grounded. So that would be another healthier way to unwind from your day or your week. Good. Release your feet to the mat. Widen your feet to the very wide edges of your mat. Bring arms down by your sides, or you can reach them out to T position. Exhale. Let your legs windshield wiper to the left, releasing down to the left side. Torso still faces up. Inhale, legs to center. Exhale, windshield wiper to the right. Go at your own pace, fluctuating between left and right. Exhale as you lower your legs down. Inhale as you bring them to center. Just feel it flow with your breath. You can hold for several breaths on each side, or hold longer on the side that needs it, the side that feels more resistant or tight. Meet yourself where you're at. Know that you are okay where you're at today. You're okay in your body. You're okay in your thoughts. You're okay in your spirit. Sometimes it might not feel that way, but if we can give ourselves the positive self-talk, that maybe it doesn't feel okay right now, but things will eventually feel okay. Inhale back to center, hug knees in. Bring your feet towards the top or towards the ceiling, and then widen your knees and reach your hands to your feet. Happy baby. So reaching on the arch sides of your feet. You can even begin to sway a little bit or rock a little bit from side to side. Maybe it feels better to grab your big toes. Just find where you can grab onto your feet. Now, for some reason, this just can't quite reach those feet. Maybe just grab onto your shins or your calf muscles. A couple breaths here. You can begin to feel why this is called happy baby. Wouldn't it be great if we can maintain some of that flexibility that we had from when we were young little ones? That flexibility tends to fade pretty quickly for me. I felt like I lost my flexibility in, what was it, like middle school maybe the 6th grade. I remember doing the sit and reach test. You guys remember the sit and reach test? If you're around my age, growing up in the 80s, you remember the sit and reach test. That's when I noticed I wasn't so flexible. Good, then hug knees back in, release out of happy baby. Bring the feet to the mat with knees bent, cactus your arms. Draw the arms out to create a goalpost or a shape of cactus. Elbows are bent. You decide if elbows are bent at 90 degrees, making an L, or more of a 45 degrees, making a W. It'll depend on how your shoulders and your chest welcome this pose. Honor where you're at. If your shoulders and chest are very resistant, lower the elbows lower than shoulder height, or open the arms a little bit, creating that 45-degree bend in the elbows. Allow your breath to be slow and steady, a pattern like an ocean wave, steadily flowing in and out through your nose. Perhaps you'd like to close your eyes. I'm choosing to leave mine open as I gaze into the treetops. Perhaps you'd like to close your eyes, drawing that connection inward, connecting to your authentic self. Welcoming and inviting the discovery of your authentic self and learning more about yourself. And approaching yourself with love and grace. Good. Then draw your arms down by your sides. Find your block. Bring your block between your knees and draw your feet a little closer together. Squeeze on that block. So we're activating our inner thighs as well as your core. Remove the space beneath your back and the mat. So just tilting your pelvis or your hips up. Bring your hands to heart center. Ooh, a leaf just fell on me. I love it. Hands connect to heart center. Bring your feet up to an imaginary table. So I'm still squeezing on that block. Then inhale, reach your feet up towards the sky as you draw your hands connected overhead, stretching arms overhead, but keeping palms connected. Inhale, draw it back in. Again, exhale, reach your feet up to the sky, bringing arms overhead. Keep your low back still connected and flat on the mat. Inhale, draw it in. 3 more. Exhale, open and expand. And as you keep those palms pressed, you'll notice your shoulders and chest are active here. Inhale, draw it back in. 2 more. Exhale, open and expand. Inhale, draw it in. Last one. Exhale, open and expand. Hold here. Holding a little bit longer. Nice job. Inhale, back to center. Good. Then release your feet to the mat. Remove your block. And from here, we still have the block or a book, whichever you have. Press through your feet, lift your hips up, and place that block across your spine. So it's resting in between your right and left hip, on the low of your back, kind of on that sacrum, in between the tailbone and the low lumbar spine. Just wiggle it around a little bit, find where it feels best to you. And then you can rest hands to tummy if that feels good, noticing your belly rise and fall with each breath. Or if you'd rather, you can bring your arms out to T position. How's your breath? Connecting to nice steady breath that begins in your belly and travels up to the shoulders with each inhale. Then pause for a moment before you exhale. And your belly rises and falls with each breath. Breath can do so much for drawing us into this moment, helping us feel more grounded and present, and of course relieve stress, anxiety, and worry. Who doesn't want to feel more calm? Breath helps you feel more calm. It works with my 3-year-old. When he gets really upset, I say, take a breath. And he will, and then he suddenly can just be a little more calm. I love it. What a tool to have in our lives. Breath is with us everywhere we go. Connect with it to find that calm. Okay, now press through your feet and begin to lift your hips up. So now we're going to remove that block, but keep your hips lifted. You can stay right here for bridge pose. Keep your gaze up. Or if you'd like to go a little farther into the pose, you can roll your right shoulder underneath you, roll your left shoulder underneath you, and see if you can meet your palms together or clasp your fingers together underneath your tailbone area. Gaze is up. Steady breath. Eyes can be open or closed. My most favorite part of the pose is to slowly release out of it. So if you had your shoulder blades tucked underneath you, begin to release one at a time. And then keeping your hips lifted, slowly roll your spine down onto the mat, one vertebrae at a time. Take your time, avoid rushing. And as you get down towards your middle ribs, come to your tippy toes so your heels are lifted, allowing you to roll your lumbar spine and your sacrum and your tailbone down onto the mat. Very nice. And hug knees in. Wake up your feet a little more again here. Feet get a little misrepresented or neglected. They're not appreciated enough. So let's wake them up. And you can begin to rock forward and back, coming up to seated, or you can roll to one side, helping yourself up. Ooh, I gathered a few more leaves along the way. I love fall, so I just welcome these leaves falling all over me. It's great. So you may wish to have your block here in front of you. Just come to a cross-legged seated pose. If that's not comfortable, you can uncross and just do butterfly pose with the soles in front. And wiggle a little bit side to side. Feel even pressure in your sits bones. Shoulders away from ears. Let's connect with breath here. Every time we change a pose or posture, it's important to connect to breath because breath changes with each pose. Find those shoulders away from your ears. Before I started practicing yoga, I didn't realize how much I kind of held my shoulders up and sometimes tried to sit overly tall. But that's not beneficial either. We want to just sit strong, rooting down through the tailbone. Pretend someone's lifting you up from the crown of your head. So there's still a little bit of that lumbar curve, but we're not overly arching the back. Inhale, rise arms overhead, gaze up. Connect hands to heart center, gaze down. Take some breaths here. Take some time to connect with hands at heart center. Drawing in stillness for your mind, for your body, for your spirit. Embrace healthier habits in your life. Seek help when you need it. That is a sign of strength. Inhale, rise arms up. Exhale, twist to the left. Bring your left hand behind you. Bring your right hand to your leg, to your opposite leg, and gaze over your left shoulder. Gentle spinal twist. Spinal twists help detoxify the body. Inhale back to center, both arms high. Exhale, twist to the right. Bring your right arm behind you, left hand to your right thigh. Gaze over your right shoulder. Inhale back to center, both arms high. Exhale, release your arms down. A couple breaths here with hands resting by your sides. Inhale, rise arms up. Forward fold in front of you. So release your hands down to your block to forward fold. And then you can choose here if you'd like the block for some support. You can maybe place your head on the block and just kind of round and hug the block. Or if that's not working for you, just walk the block away from you and bring your hands to the block. Let your head and neck be soft. Surrender here in this pose. So in a lot of our sort of forward folds or releasing down, we're finding surrender. And begin to walk your hands back in, rise up from your fold. And then switch the crossing of your legs if you had your legs crossed. If not, just stay in your butterfly, or maybe you want to switch it up a little bit. I sometimes when I sit in a certain pose for too long, I feel like I get kind of locked or stuck. So feel free to change your legs up to whatever's comfortable. In our seat, connect with breath, shoulders away from ears. Inhale, rise arms up, gaze up. Connect hands at heart center, gaze down. Connecting your mind, your body, your spirit, finding stillness in all three. connecting to your authentic self. Maybe sometimes we don't know who we are. Who are we? What do we represent? So just allow this quiet space to speak to you. It's in the quiet that we can hear more clearly. Inhale, rise arms back up. Exhale, side bend to the left. Release your left arm down. Gently stretch your right side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, forward fold. Release your hands down to the block or to the ground, or you can bring the block for your forehead to rest down. Just soften into the pose, meeting yourself where you're at. The thing about the block is there's lots of different dimensions, so you can flip it up on its tall end or its shorter end. See where you can be soft. See if there's any areas you're holding. Are you holding your quad muscles? Are you flexing your legs? Let them relax. Inhale, slowly rise back up from your fold. Very nice. Last thing for the block here, if you want to come up to a low squat on your mat. So we're just coming into the balls of our feet. And we're just squatting. So I'll turn to the side so you can kind of see my heels are lifted here. I don't know many people where their heels will actually be rooted down, but if you're very flexible, maybe your heels are rooted down. The point is to let the heels melt towards the mat. Then find your block and place it underneath your sits bones. I'm not completely sitting on the block, I'm just letting the block be underneath my tushy. And then next, use your hands to gently guide your feet out to the sides. So we're going to have the heels in and the toes out. And then you can actually sit on the block. Frog pose. Hands connected heart center. My elbows are connecting to my inner thighs. I'm actually feeling like my elbows might even be opening my hips. And this is our supported frog today. It's a little more nurturing, not so harsh on the hips and on the inner thighs. If you're feeling like you want to create some heat and you want to challenge yourself, you are welcome to sit up from that block, remove the block, and come to a low squatting down frog pose. I'm feeling like I'd like just a little nurturing and support today, so I'm going to just connect to the more restful frog pose. A couple more breaths. Whichever pose you chose, whichever variation, stay lengthened through your spine and keep the shoulders down away from ears. Good. Now release your hands to the mat. Slowly heel toe your feet in a little bit. And then you can lift that block away if you had the block and just come to lying down on your mat. Hug knees in. And so from here you can choose if you'd like to hug your knees in and rock a little bit from side to side. You can choose happy baby again, where you connect your hands inside the arches of your feet or connect your fingers to toes. You can rock a little bit from side to side. Connecting to our inner child here, right? How often do we connect to our inner child? We all have one. And when we connect to our inner child, we hopefully are connecting from a place of love, a place of grace, and a place of mentoring our inner child. Good. Then release your legs down, feet connect to the mat, bring arms to T position. We're going to prepare for spinal twist. If you like a deeper twist, draw your feet together. For more gentle, have your feet drawn widely apart. Inhale first, and exhale, legs fall to the left for spinal twist. Gaze up or to the right. Nice deep breaths here, especially in the spinal twists, just to really give a nice circulation to the organs in your belly as they're kind of being twisted and wringing out a little bit, wringing out of the spine. Inhale, legs to center. Exhale, release your legs to the right. You can gaze up or to the left, so opposite your knees. Inhale back to center. Hug knees in one last time. Good. Then release your feet down. Stretch your legs out for final surrender, or if you'd like your legs bent for final surrender, just find a comfortable laying down pose. Let's take some 3-part breaths as we begin our surrender. Inhale through your nose. Let your belly rise first with your breath. Then the same breath travels to the middle of your chest, then all the way up underneath your collarbones. Pause for a moment before you exhale, emptying all 3 parts. Take 2 more 3-part breaths. And on your last 3-part inhale, inhale through your nose and exhale out your mouth, a letting go breath. Settle into this space, feeling the ground beneath you. Be soft as you let your head relax into the support. Let your shoulders release. Let your back and hips sink down. And let your legs be heavy. So as you notice that support underneath you, surrender to the support rather than holding yourself up. And begin to think about some healthier ways that you could unwind from a busy, stressful day or unwind from a busy week. If we have a pattern of always going to substances, try something else. If you have a pattern that is turned into addiction, seek help. You have the strength with people that can help you. And end your practice today giving thanks for your body to allow you to move through these poses, giving thanks for something in your life that you're grateful for. And on your next breath, imagine a wave of relaxation settling into your mind, your body, your spirit, helping you to let go of negative thoughts, helping you to let go of self-defeating thoughts, thoughts that do not benefit you. And allow all the muscles in your face to relax. Your forehead opens, your eyebrows and eyelids are soft, your nostrils release, and your mouth and jaw neutral. Shoulders releasing down as both arms feel warmth and tingly, traveling to your hands, to the tips of your fingers. Torso and your hips release down a little more as both legs filled with relaxation, moving down to your feet, to the tips of your toes. Your mind, your body, your spirit completely relaxed and at peace. Feeling the weight that you might be holding lift away. Final surrender, Shavasana. Take a deep breath in as you bring your awareness back, Bring movement through your hands and feet as you wiggle your fingers and toes. Imagine as you take another deep breath in that you're drawing in fresh, clean energy and oxygen for your mind, your body, your spirit. Something that you can take with you through the rest of your day or evening. And slowly roll to your right side. Spend some time here on your side. And then rise up, helping yourself up to a comfortable seated position. I thank you so much for joining me today. I pray this class was a blessing for you. We'll end with Namaste. The teacher in me honors the teacher in you. Namaste. Be well.